Welcome to the Best Sports Betting Podcast, where we'll talk about reviews, previews, tips, and all things betting related. Brought to you by bestsportsbetting.co.za. Now, on to our hosts.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Best Sports Betting Podcast, episode 45, powered by PlayerBets. Guys, today I'm flying solo. Simon is away for a couple of days, Easter weekend, all that jazz. So he's not going to be joining me today. Fortunately, I've got no one to make fun of. I'm going to have to make fun of myself. Right, let's jump straight into some of the Super Rugby results from the weekend. We had the Chiefs beating the Highlanders 27-22. The Hurricanes putting on an absolute smashing performance against the Rebels, beating them 50-19. Very unexpected, that result. Well, the winning margin, rather. Then on Saturday, we had an equally surprising result with the Sharks beating the Blues 63-40, 103 points in that game. Not many people backed the Sharks. I see there were a couple on Twitter. Credit to them. I had the Blues in a multi. It didn't go anywhere. Then we had the Waratahs beating the Brumbies. Nothing much to write home about there. And then the Bulls, my best bet, Bulls 1-12, came in quite comfortably with the Bulls winning 33-23 against the Stormers. Stormers, you can't expect them to go to Loftus and do very well. And they put on a pretty good performance, but just got out-muscled in the second half by the Bulls. Then on to Sunday, we had the Lions taking on the Crusaders. And I must say, this was a game that I really liked the overs in. And I didn't get an overs bet, but I did recommend to take one if you could get around 55. The starting odds were, 57.5. So, I didn't take it. Fortunately not, because there was only 22 points in the game, with the Crusaders winning 14 to the Lions 8. Lions are just looking really bad, guys. They're just not impressive at all. The Crusaders aren't that impressive either. They did well to beat the Lions, but 14 points against that Lions defense is not that great. So let's have a look at some of the Premier League results from the weekend. We're not going to dwell on it too much. Nothing major there. My best bet, Newcastle. They beat Huddersfield 1-0, so comfortable win there. Wins for Liverpool, Manchester United, and Man City. And then on Sunday, the big game was the London Derby with Chelsea taking on Spurs. Spurs ran out very comfortable winners there, 3-1. Demba Ali scoring 2 goals. I had under 2.5 goals there. Simon had Spurs double chance, drawn a bet. I'm not sure which one it was, but pretty easy win for Spurs. And their away record has just been utterly fantastic. I cannot give them enough praise. I'm just looking at their away record now. Look, there's a lot of draws in there, but there are draws against teams that aren't easy to play against. Look, they got a draw against Juventus, draw against Liverpool away from home. Southampton, probably not the best result there. The only losses away from home have been to City, a bit of a shocker to Leicester, and then, that's about it. So, very, very interesting season, especially for Spurs. And I was having a chat with a big Arsenal fan, and I was just saying, the league would be very interesting if it wasn't for Man City sitting on 84 points, because, that's 16 points ahead of Manchester United, 18 points ahead of Liverpool, and 20 points ahead of Spurs. So, imagine City wasn't first. Say they were 6th or 7th, or maybe just not even in the table. Would be in for a very interesting last couple of games. So, guys, let's jump straight into Super Rugby and have a look at some of my best bets and what I fancy. The card it's not a great card, to be honest. Got the Hurricanes taking on the Sharks. Sharks at 10-1. I don't think anyone's going to be touching that too much. But you can get plus 22.5 on the boys from Durban. Might be worth a look. I'm certainly not taking the Canes minus 22.5, that's for sure. Sunwolves versus Waratahs. Once again, big spread. 15.5 for the Waratahs. Not going to be getting involved there. I'll have to do a bit of research. The Waratahs on the minus 15.5 might be a call, but I'm not sure there. Then Chiefs against the Blues. Chiefs 9.5. I like that. I do fancy the Chiefs to beat the Blues by at least 14 there. Brumbies versus Reds going to stay away. Another Australian derby. Not interested. Lions versus Stormers. Lions only 6.5 point favorites, which I would have had it around 9.5 had they beaten the Crusaders. So, yeah, it might be some value taking the Lions there. It's just a team I really don't trust at the moment, so I'm not going to be backing them. Then we have the Jaguars taking on the Crusaders. The Jaguars have got a pretty good home record. I'm not sure why they're getting 15.5 points at home, especially to the Crusaders, who've travelled to South Africa now to go to Argentina. So I think I'm going to be backing the Jaguars on the plus there. It's a bit of a ballsy call. I see the Crusaders winning by about maybe 10, 14 points. So 15.5 does look pretty attractive. So that's where my money is going to be going for the Premier League, for the Super Rugby rather. I'm already thinking about the Premier League. But yeah, so my best bet there would probably be the Jaguars on the plus. I think that line's a bit crazy. I don't understand why it's so big. But yeah, anyway, it might be because the Crusaders beat the Lions. But anyway, moving on to the Premier League. We don't have an interesting card other than the two marquee matchups. You've got a lot of, I want to say, trash playing each other. But then we do have two very big derbies. We've got the Manchester Derby and we've got the Merseyside Derby. Now, the Merseyside Derby is Everton versus Liverpool. Liverpool 1.57 to win this game. 13 to 20 in some places. It's a bit interesting. I think it's a bit short. I don't think there's any value in this game at all. I mean, you can get Everton double chance at 12 to 10. I'm not even going to be taking that. I think Liverpool win this one. I think they win this one quite comfortably. I had a look at the overs line, over 2.5 goals. Again, 13 to 20, not getting involved. Under 3.5, 5 to 10. Now I'd rather take over 3.5 at 15 to 10 there. So I'm not going to be getting involved in that one. I do see Liverpool winning that one pretty comfortably. So I wouldn't look at Everton at all. Then we have Manchester City taking on Manchester United. City heavy favourites. Well, as they should be at almost 7 to 10, which I think is actually pretty good value. There is some Champions League coming up for the sides, but I do think there would be a lot of value taking Manchester City, especially at that price. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's a derby. City are in insane form. They're playing at home. They last lost to Basel at home, and that was a nothing match. But prior to that, I don't think they've lost or even drawn a single Premier League game at home this entire season. Sorry, I stand corrected. They drew their opener against Everton on the 21st of August. So it's been a hell of a long time since they've drawn or lost at home. So I'm going to say that's a bank all day. Give me that 7 to 10. 13 to 20 I'll still take. I think that's going to be my best bet when it comes to the Premier League. Then on Sunday we've got Arsenal, Southampton, Chelsea, West Ham. Arsenal, Southampton. Now I looked at it, Arsenal 5 to 10. It's a bit of value there if you're going to put them in accumulators, but I'm not going to be taking anything there. I did look at overs. I did look at the Asian handicap. The Asian handicap might be worth a shot. -1, you're getting about 9 to 10, but I'd rather just keep Arsenal for an accumulator there. Then Chelsea, West Ham, definitely no value here. Chelsea, seriously 1 to 4. Oh, that's just terrible. I mean, as a team that got smashed at home by Spurs, you give me 1 to 4 on them. No, it's not going to fly. But then again, West Ham's away record is pretty atrocious. They've conceded at least 3 goals in their last 3 away games. So, maybe look at goals in that one. Once again, you're not getting great value. Over 2.5 is 13 to 20, just a little too short for me to back goals there. But I do fancy there to be a couple. Maybe Chelsea team overs or something like that if you are so inclined. Alright guys, let's jump into my best bets for the week. I'm going to go with Super Rugby. I'm taking the Jaguars plus 15.5. And then on the Premier League, I'm going to go with Manchester City to beat Manchester United. So those are my 2 best bets. I don't have too much else to discuss, so this is a very short podcast. I'd like to keep you guys up to date with some of the happenings on BSB, but I'm gonna wait until Simon gets back for that one. Otherwise, it's going to be me rambling on for another couple minutes, and I'm sure you guys are sick of my voice already. So guys, if you haven't already, go to www.bestsportsbetting.co.za. Go check out some of our guides, check out our tips. We've got everything up there for you. Follow us on Facebook at BSBZA, same on Twitter, BSBZA. And guys, best of luck, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a good one. Cheers.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to visit our site, Facebook and Twitter pages. Let's go make some money.